Good evening and welcome to Live United. Live United is about people making a difference here in the Monadnock region, and we're featuring different agencies, individuals that are doing good work. They're giving, they're volunteering, they're advocating. And as we move into this new year, we know that one of the pressing issues here in the Monadnock region is around our children and the health and well-being of those children. And today, I'm joined by Petra Gillette. Petra's with the Orchard School. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's wonderful to have you here.
It's wonderful to be here.
And you're doing some incredible environmental programming, really nurturing our young people at the Orchard School. So tell me a little bit about the history of the school.
Great. First, thanks for having us. This is really exciting. I have a whole community of people that are behind me saying, go for it. And I'll try not to make any bloopers. The Orchard School was founded out of a real need for rural childcare. And so there were three women, Eleanor Elbers, Kathy Torrey, and Kathleen Vetter, who were all providing childcare in their own homes in different locations in Alstead. There's a couple of different villages. And they all knew each other, and they said, you know, why don't we do this together? Let's move closer and let's do this together. So they did, and it came to a point where they were housing children in the farmhouse that's now across the street and in Anton and Eleanor's house, and they had so many children that they said, you know, let's build a building. This is something that's great. We're doing this and it works, and let's go forward. And so they, from a dream, in February, they made plans, and then they broke ground in June, and over 10 weekends, roughly 10 weekends, and 4,000 hours of volunteer labor, they created a building, and they opened in September for the first Orchard School year. So that all started in 1990, and then the building and the nonprofit was formally founded in 94. So, and it's always been based in children at the center. Children are the most valuable gift in our lives. They deserve everything based in love. Not everything based in things, but everything based in your presence as an adult and their opportunity to be part of a community.
One of the things we've been talking about is the power of people to make a difference. And here your organization was founded on the power of people and the power of love. And certainly been talking about the children that are in need. So tell me about the people that you're actually serving, what ages, and how you serve both the child and the family, because you mentioned that it's about, you know, nurturing and really bringing all of that together.
For sure. We serve children 2 years old to 6 years old from 7:30 to 6 p.m. each day. We also have an after-school program each day that services kindergarten to 5th grade children, and that runs from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And during the summer months, we have a summer camp program that services 2 to 16-year-olds. So in the summer, we even expand into that older adolescent, which is a pretty at-risk group, just being adolescent. We also have a weekly Farmers and Foragers program that services 10 to 14-year-olds. We definitely have a family service aspect that is a very strong thread of what we do. You know, the child comes to us, it's often their first experience in childcare, and that family is our partner. They know a lot more about their child than we do. And we are very available for any information they need about parenting support. Parenting, now that I'm a parent, I can say parenting is one of the hardest jobs on the planet, and you don't get paid for it, except for in those spiritual gifts, of course. We're always accessible for that. If we have a family coming in that needs some more support through maybe Health and Human Services, we can connect them to a caseworker. We often have people come in, and because the children are so young, we may very well be the first place that has noticed some special needs. And so we can connect them with the school district or some other service that they might need. We've worked with MFS and MDS quite a lot in the past. And just to help those parents navigate what that ground is like. We service a variety of populations which really mirror our rural neighborhood. You know, we have quite a lot of poverty in Alstead, Ackworth, Langdon, Marlow, Gilsum, Stoddard, Sullivan, and those are communities that we all serve. And we're open to anybody, but those are folks that come to us, and we also serve families that are working professionals and have enough income to pay for their full-time childcare.
And I want to come back to that in just a minute, but we have a video clip that we're going to be able to share with you that talks about your program and some of the great offerings that are available. So we're going to go to that video clip, and then we'll come back and talk more about the need in the community.
Great.
I wanted to make a school that was as close to an authentic family experience and community experience as possible. Learning and education is not separate from your daily life. It actually is part of your life. To make the children part of the team is one of the most important tenets, so that you look at this incredible work of taking care of kids and being an example and learning the ways of the world and bringing out their gifts, each person's gifts.
One of the things that I really adore and love about children is that they are innately curious. So they always are wondering. They're always asking questions of us, and I encourage you as their teachers to ask questions back. Because often they either A, know the answer, or B, can find out the answer. And what that does is it helps them learn that they can find some answers on their own as well as ask for help.
I started coming to the Orchard School when I was in preschool, and I did 2 years of preschool and then 2 years of kindergarten, and then I did summer camps. And I thoroughly enjoyed, specifically, all of the nature camps. And I decided to come back because I really like the children that are here, and I like the activities, and I like the learning objectives that have to do a lot with nature. In an environment so inclusive, I think that everyone's needs can be supported, and everyone can choose how to be themselves, and they can do it in a wholehearted way.
And how do you think this place has helped you grow as a person?
I think that the Orchard School really embraced me into really doing my own thing. I think that a lot of schooling options around don't really embrace the individual as much as it should, and I think that coming here really allowed me to be weird and funky and enjoy the things that I do.
I've been coming to the Orchard School since I've been 8, so for 11 years. I started as a camper and probably went till I was 13 or 14. Then I was a CIT and then a counselor.
What kind of skills have you learned here?
Too many to list, but inclusion, getting everybody to work together, and group management, and some leadership skills too, I would say.
It's the Kid Dip. What do you think some of the best experiences for campers have been here? Like things that they get to do here that they might not get other places?
Can I say everything? I don't know. It's hard because everything here is pretty unique. Being in a camp and learning environment where everyone is included, even kids with different abilities and special needs and stuff, that's pretty unique because a lot of camps, I don't think, take kids like that. Sankofa, that's a good one. I always liked Sankofa as a kid. Sankofa is something that not many kids get to do.
What do you like about working with kids?
Teaching them the drums, like teaching them like what the drums mean, getting them connected to a different culture.
Kendra, what's been some of your best experiences here?
Well, since I'm here all the time, I really get to see the kids changing, like, and dramatically so. From, like, I love that. Sometimes even just like from one week to the next. So that's always like really exciting for me. I've like watched kids grow up in general, but then like come from troubled lives and go through a lot of difficulty, and then this place like changes them for the better. It's an incredibly positive environment. That's definitely part of it. It's also like back to nature with a lot of the kids. They grow up watching TV all day long. Then they come here and we're like, no, go outside.
The team effort, the group effort, is at the core of my philosophy. That what we are capable of as a group is far greater than what we're capable of as individuals.
Jeremiah, how many years have you been coming to the Orchard School?
This is my first year. Oh, you guys. I've been coming here ever since I've been in preschool. Well, ever since my sister's been in preschool.
And how many years have you been coming to summer camp?
Since I was 2, probably.
How old are you now?
10. I remember once when I was in kindergarten, they had a kitchen, and we got to cook real food and stuff. We got to take turns being chefs, and we got to eat real food, having good friends and stuff like that. I love Orchard School. I love the bakery, for one thing. I love the food. I love everything to do with it.
And what's been your favorite camp?
I like pretty much all the ones I go to. Forest camp, farm camp, comics camp, Croca camp, stars. Pretty much every camp there is, except for clowns. I've never run clowns.
Cassidy, what's been some of your favorite camp experiences?
Making friends. I learned here not to be shy, because I was very shy when I started coming here, and now I'm not shy.
Oh, that's cool.
I think that there's all these great learning opportunities all around us, but I feel like the important thing is that we come together and we have fun together, and that if we do that in this sort of setting that's like really healthy and amazing, we have these beautiful experiences and we all learn how to be better to each other. And I feel like if we can all come out of these experiences, no matter what they are at the Orchard School, and be a little bit happier and healthier for it, then that would be kind of my ultimate goal.
And I certainly wouldn't mind going to camp right about now.
Yeah, summer.
We're in the middle of
summer.
the campaign, so a little break from that and
There
have
you
a
go.
little foraging and some fun would be fabulous. Now, as that was airing, we were talking a little bit about what's happened with some of those young people that we saw in the film. And you saw Chloe, Kendra, and Jeremy. Can you share with us what's happened for them?
Well, as far as I know, Chloe has really taken a dive into circus arts and is quite a gifted trapeze performer, which is really up her alley and is so authentically who she is. Jeremy came for a visit this summer, and he is working now out in the Midwest at a big cat sanctuary. He is definitely a biologist and spent a time working with bats with white nose fungus, and now he's out with big cats, and he's volunteering his time. I think that's what's really important about his choosing, is he's not rushing into a career for money. He's trying to explore the world and give himself the time to see what he really wants to do. And I know Kendra has just moved out to Portland and is taking some classes in early education there, and she started at the Orchard School when she was 4, so she's been there all along the way. But it speaks to the belonging to a community, and it speaks to the roots that people really do put down when they get to have an experience at the school, whether it's a short experience or an over the years experience. I was also telling you that Cassidy, who is in that film, is now 16, and she's helping to teach the Farmers and Foragers program. You know, this information has become very important to her, and she wants to share it with the world however she can. And so as a rural kid, that's what she's doing. She's volunteering her time to teach others.
So part of what I hear is there's a real element of creativity. We saw that in the clip. But there's also some real community service there, and really creating that sense of belonging through people giving and really volunteering.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. You know, community is helping each other. And I said to you at one point, live united. There it is. You know, it's no one of us can do it all. And if we did, it would be such a stark experience. And when you can teach children from the beginning that their presence is really valuable on its own, and look at what it creates when you're all together and the power of that. And also the power of helping others is really amazing. I mean, think about when you get to help somebody, and think about when you get to help somebody. It's really powerful, and it feels good. And you know, I feel like that's what the United Way is doing, and that's what all of the agencies for the United Way are doing. They're meeting that place in themselves outwardly in the community.
That's a great definition, and certainly part of our mission, and it sounds like part of your mission. It's part of the reason we support the Orchard School. Let's talk a little bit about the need you see, because you know, you're working with a challenging population. You mentioned you even go up to 16-year-olds, and we all know that everybody, even adolescents, are at risk now. Yeah. It's just a more challenging world we live in, and you're trying to provide opportunities for them to experience some of what I like to think we experienced as children.
Yes, yes. Yep. One of our teachers used to say that we provide an old-fashioned childhood. You know, we have the blessing of this organic farm that we're on, and we can walk across the street and pick apples and come back and chop them up and cook them for food. We are definitely trying to provide a slower-paced childhood experience for children from very young to those adolescents that are, you know, they're all at risk. I think they're at risk for lots of things, but one of the things that we pay pretty close attention to is screen consumption. And so we don't have any screens at our school. We have some computers in our office, and that's that. We are rich in outdoor time. We are rich in person-to-person contact. We're rich in song and art and music, which doesn't always go with song. And stomping through the woods on a winter's day and tracking. I mean, I went to the school this morning and the playground had no tracks on it. It was really beautiful. And when I return, it's going to have been thoroughly stomped down, and the sledding hill will have been used. And, you know, it's an important life skill to be able to dive out of a sled, right?
Absolutely.
And so if you don't learn how to dive out of a sled, figuratively, when you're an adult, how can you meet the challenges of being a regular human? You just can't possibly. You have to be able to fall down in a healthy way to learn to stand up strong.
And to pick yourself back up.
And to pick yourself back up, yeah. And when you do that in community, it's a little easier because then there's somebody there saying, can I give you a hand? You know, and pull you up a little bit so you can engage with that.
So tell me a little bit about some of the other agencies or other groups that you may work with.
You know, one of the things that I think is unique about us is that we are rurally located. And so we could be isolated if we chose to be, but we're not. We work, especially in the summertime when we receive special needs children from far and wide. We work pretty thoroughly with MFS and MDFs. We've also had relationships with those two organizations through the school year, depending on the children that are coming to us for services. We are a fully inclusive program, which really means that everybody can be themselves there. It doesn't mean that it's just special needs. We all have special needs. We all like to do things a little differently, and we all need the world to receive us a little differently. So those two organizations stand out quickly. I also feel like what the United Way has done for us, we've been an agency at United Way since 2004 was our first year. And what it's done for us is it's opened a lot of opportunities to be more a part of the community in this region. And it's given us a really good reflection of what others are doing as well and how we can work together. So I think, you know, those are the two strongest, but we also know a lot about the Monadnock Center for Violence Prevention, and if we have a client who's needing resources, we can bring them there, or I think that's one of the ways we provide family services is we often think about that network of agencies as a resource.
So you mentioned that you work with young people with special needs. How are you serving that specific population? Is it with all of your programs or just a portion of your programs?
Well, it's with our mission statement. You know, it's the root of our programs that you come and you will be received. Bring who you are. And really, special needs are bringing who you are. So I think that it is just about being a human being with other human beings. And that's how we treat that.
I think it's such a valuable lesson too early in life. My daughter happened to go to a center when she was young where it was a very diverse group of young people, and she learned real empathy and a real respect for who people were and what they had to bring to the table. And I think that's a valuable piece and a lesson of what you're doing in your work. When we talk about the need out there and the need for these types of programs, one of the things we've been highlighting is that there's wait lists for our child care centers. It's challenging for people to access it. How can people really access your service? Do you have scholarships? Can they reach out and get a referral from you if they need it?
For sure. You know, I've had families call and our program hasn't quite aligned with their needs or their personal family mission. And then we can always refer to another agency. You know, the United Way funds our sliding fee scale. And you know, the issue you speak to about accessibility for childcare is a cultural issue. It's not just the Monadnock region, it's the whole of the country. And it's an interesting issue because as a child care provider, we couldn't charge the real cost of care and have people afford it in our area or in almost any area. And so it puts the child care agencies into a place where they need to fundraise to do their work as well. And so it really takes us, you know, into our service is to the children and to the families. And yet then we have to learn to be pretty active fundraisers as well to close that. For us at the Orchard School and Community Center, it's a 20 to 25% gap each year that we close. So we provide funding through the United Way for these sliding fee tuitions. We also, if we have a situation that comes up where the United Way funding is not enough, I mean, even at a 50% tuition, we have families that we wouldn't even touch financially. You can go to the Department of Health and Human Services, and then you get into another little catch-22 because you have to be employed in order to have that benefit. So occasionally I will get on the phone and I will ask somebody that I know, you know, I have this family, this child really needs this programming to get this family on another track, and are you willing to back this scholarship? One of the things that the Orchard School, and this I think is a compliment as well, we're not good at saying no to children that need services. And so we will often overstretch our giving to provide for those children because we know how valuable it is for them to have a solid early childhood. If children have a solid early childhood, they're going to really make it through most anything. And that is birth to 8, technically, but I think it's birth through 12. They have a solid first 12 years. Go for it. They're ready.
In our previous show, we were talking a little bit about that, and one of the things that we noted is that all the research right now says that if you really work with children, early childhood, and nurturing and educating, that it's cradle to career, that it really leads to lifelong success, and certainly we all want our children to thrive. And part of what I hear you saying is it takes a village to raise a child.
Sure does.
You know, it's an old saying, but it really does require community to come forward and to give. I'm assuming you accept volunteers.
Oh, for sure. You know, volunteers make our school run still to this day. We have a couple of work trade volunteers who work in exchange for their tuition to school. And we have been very blessed by the days of caring volunteers that come out. Even just coming to read a story to the children is a great connection to the community. And yes, volunteers make a lot happen.
Volunteers, do you have other needs besides volunteers?
Well, I always joke that, you know, beyond the $90,000 that we raise every year, the need is for love to come our way. You know, it's a really, what I see in the Orchard School program that I think is unique, and I think others are starting to catch on to this, is that piece about quality of interrelationships. the quality of those interrelationships create lifelong learners. They create people who can assert themselves in healthy ways. They create people who know who they are, know what they love, know what their purpose is on earth. And with all of this new research coming out, that's actually old research, it's coming around again, right? It's the little spiral journey there of research for early education. It's not about their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. It's about them jumping and running and climbing and falling and laughing and being a friend to somebody. It's about them learning that the heart is what matters. Because children are sponges and they will learn whatever you put in front of them. But grown-ups are not sponges. And that sponge quality leaves us at around 12 when we start to know the world a little differently. And so those first 12 years, fill that sponge with love and art and enjoyable outdoor experiences, things that make people shine. All of that other ABC, 1, 2, 3, astrophysics, anything will come. It will come. And we need to give kids that chance to have that space, to be kids.
Well, and you're certainly doing that through your programs. Yeah. Tell me, are you doing any advocacy? Because you are a huge advocate for your program, obviously.
Yes, I am. Well, we would love to be doing more advocacy. And I think right now the advocacy that we're doing is living our program. We see the Orchard School in the future stepping into that advocacy role more. If it were my choice, I would spend my whole time advocating because I really believe in the value of early education for young children, for adults, and it's really, if we put all of our resources, maybe not all of them, if we put the majority of our resources into early education, you would have enough jobs for people to work. You would have a lot less illness in adolescence and middle teens and 20s. It's such a tough time of life. And if you haven't had a nice entering, if you will, you don't know where to go. I just feel like it's the best prevention for our communities to have strong early education systems.
I think we'd agree with you, and certainly New Hampshire has a movement afoot to really focus on early childhood in what we're doing there, whether it's the credentialing of staff, the types of programs we're offering, the sort of the frameworks and how we can share them. And I just sat in on a phone call, a nationwide phone call. So this is also becoming a nationwide movement. New Hampshire has very much embraced it, but I sat on a phone call with 40 other states. And the whole theme was around the early childhood piece.
Brilliant.
And, definitely people are beginning to see that you have to build that strong foundation.
Yes.
And it's a mixture of all those things that you're talking about. It's not just the academic piece. It's the emotional component. It's the learning how to play and how to communicate. And communicate in many different ways because people do communicate in different ways. And again, getting back to that valuing the diversity of the world that we live in and really understanding that and feeling like you're a part of it and that you belong. Such important things. Tell me, you got it would be your 20th anniversary, it sounds like, coming up on your building.
Yes.
Do you have any other future things we should be aware of?
Yeah, well, besides the sledding this afternoon, let's see, we just kicked off our annual fun campaign. We follow right up back to back with the United Ways, and if you haven't given to the United Way campaign yet, please do. It's really worth it. We believe in the work that's happening and that you guys are really championing, and we're very thankful to be part of the network. So we've just kicked off our annual fund campaign, looking and sending lots of lovely letters. We are in some transitions at school, as always, but we're starting to talk a little bit more, especially in light of this collective impact work that the United Way is doing. I would like to see us getting a little deeper into the Alstead, Ackworth, Langdon communities and supporting more families. I know that the families are there, and we just need to figure out a little bit more about how to allow ourselves to be accessible to them and to those children. And I feel like there's a real opportunity to make some population level change in child welfare, educational attainment for these families that live right in our little nook of the woods.
And obviously every corner of the woods here in the Monadnock region becomes part of the much larger, whether it's the good things going on or the challenges we face and how we address them as a community. And you mentioned coming together collectively to do that. And that is such an important piece. It is something the United Way is very much embracing moving forward, is how do we bring everybody together to focus on the real pressing issues. You mentioned a couple of them: educational attainment, child welfare, certainly, economic opportunity. You talked about the need for scholarships for our young people being able to work and hold a job because they know their children are in a safe place and that they're learning great skills. So all really, really important things. And it's really about what the Live United is. Live United is about giving, volunteering, advocating, being part of the community, feeling that sense of belonging and contributing to that sense of belonging. And it sounds like you have some direct needs for the audience. I want you to share your contact information so they know how to reach out to you if they're interested in volunteering or giving somehow.
Great, great. So if you're interested in helping the Orchard School and Community Center in any way, you can reach right out to me. My name is Petra Gillette. And the phone number to our office is 835-2495. And the phone will get answered by Sharon, who will help you out. You're also welcome to visit our website at www.theorchardschool.org. It's got a lot of fun photos and some great stories, a nice parent resource section that we're creating. And we're looking at upgrading that a little bit in the future. We've got a little marketing campaign under the cloth right now, and so it's a great place. I really feel so thankful to be part of the community and to witness what happens for the children there.
Now, if people wanted to come visit your site, how would they do that?
Great. We accept visitors at any time, but if you want somebody to be there to greet you, just give us a call and set up a time, and we'd love to have you come out. One of the connections that I'd really like to see build is with our community of elders. And you know, children and our elders together is a really magical combination. And it's not something that gets to happen often enough in this world. And so if there's any retired folks that want to come out and read stories or do an art project or just be with the children, they're more than welcome to touch base with me and work that out. Yeah, come and see it. You have to see it to believe it. It's a pretty great space. And just today I'm sitting here, and while I'm sitting here, there is an evergreen spiral set up in our great room, and it's all lit by candle, and it has all of these different story scenes along the spiral, and the children are each getting a turn to walk the spiral today with a candle, and they'll light it in the center, and then they'll walk back out and put it wherever they choose to in that space. And it's just honoring each of their journeys here. But that's one of those little magic pieces that happens out there.
I was just going to say that it's really sort of a beautiful, magical piece, and especially when you think about the time of year we're in, where evergreens are so present in society right now, something we're really seeing, and having people feel that and feel joy. And again, that sense of community and belonging, just a fabulous thing. So again, I would like you to repeat how they could contact you if they would like to come out and visit the center, if they'd like to volunteer, somehow be a part of it. And do you have other needs that, do you have needs for mud boots or coats, anything
great.
like that?
Well, we always would love to hear from you if you have used children's outdoor children's items, winter boots, snow pants, coats, mittens. It would really surprise you how many pairs of mittens children can go through in one day of sledding. Times 24 children. We try to keep our material offerings pretty simple, so we don't often feel like we need very much material-wise, because the earth provides for us in quite abundant factors, and we've been really blessed to build a kind of collection of beautiful wooden blocks and other such things. If anybody wants to write large checks to the Orchard School, they're welcome to do that at any point in time, United Way as well. I definitely encourage you to consider your donation as a very valuable choice. And if you do have any kids' items that you think might serve us, give us a call. So it's again 835-2495. My email is my name, it's Petra, Petra, and it's at theorchardschool.org. You can also visit our website, and it'll show you where you can donate now, but also give you some more insight to our summer programs as well as our school year programs. We have a curriculum document that we created a few years back that we feel really proud of. We finally got it put on paper, and of course it's changed a little bit, but that was a really beautiful piece of work that the staff felt so proud of. And that's another piece that I think is unique about the school is the staff. Early childhood often has really high turnover, and part of that is that the wages for early childhood educators stink. They're very low on the scale. A lot of it will be considered poverty level wages. And a lot of our teachers at the school have been there for a long period of time, and they're very well educated. They're really making a conscious choice to be in the field of early childhood education. And they're professionals. They consider it their life's work. And so we're really lucky for that. And it makes it a very different experience for the children and families that choose that.
Well, Petra, we're coming to the end of the show. I'd like to thank you for joining us today and for highlighting the great work the Orchard School's involved in. And I really would encourage our audience to think about how you can give or volunteer to great organizations such as the Orchard School. The need is great out there. We see it, and it's not just during the holiday season, it's year-round. I know you have some programs still open for people that are looking to enroll their young people. So I would encourage people to contact the Orchard School, to go out there for a visit, see this beautiful location and the good work that's going on there. I'd also like to invite you to be part of Living United by giving, volunteering, and advocating, and sharing your story with us at liveunited@muw.org so that we can share your story on air. And we'll select a story each week, and somebody will win a Live United t-shirt. So I want to thank you for joining us, and I hope you all had a safe and healthy new year.